Hey everyone, coming at you with a just a general discussion video today on a couple of things pertaining to planning, preparedness, operational nuances, all that kind of general stuff. Nothing too crazy, but some reminders in part as well, because people need them. And yeah, sometimes people just forget stuff. And that's okay. Couple of points just to talk about here. So first off, have a good multi-tool. Should be no frills, no nonsense. I really like the Leatherman Waves. Just a good multi-tool. It's got various blades, screwdrivers. It's even got the measurements on it, as you can see. Got measurement markings and all that, so you can use it for various bits and bobs like that. You should have like a couple of these. I've got like 3 or 4 of these. My favorite multi-tool is the Leatherman Wave. I've got one secured on my ruck, my Tasmanian Tiger L long range raid pack LURP Mark. What is that? The Mark III. I've got one on the waist belt of that. I've got one in my chest rig. I've got one. I've got another one floating around. I think it's in my vehicle. Yeah, that one's in my vehicle. And then I have another extra one just for whatever general daily use. Because people lose those sometimes. I don't. You shouldn't lose your stuff like that, but it happens. But just have good multi-tools. Pretty common sense, but it's worth a couple extra bucks to have one that's not going to break and fall apart on you, and is going to last you. And usually a good thing about redundancy is to have multiples of them. Shouldn't need to be said, but it needs to be said, right? Another point, take care of your feet, and your feet will take care of you. I don't see a lot of people actually talking about foot care maintenance stuff. Get a pair of toenail clippers, keep them in your hygiene kit or wherever else, and have them with you when you're out in the field. Especially if you're going to be out there for longer periods of time, you're going to need to trim your toenails. You need to keep your feet dry, so obviously all the extra socks and all that stuff, foot powder, as applies, all that stuff. But a big one is freaking trimming toenails. I see a lot of people out there with some nasty toes, and freaking trim your toenails. You do not want to have to deal with foot fungus or an ingrown toenail out in the field. These are useful for other things too, getting out wood splinters, things like that. Like, it's just another useful multi-tool of sorts. Shouldn't have to be said, but there it is. A couple other things. Another one, something I recommend and a lot of people don't have, is a law enforcement 10 code smart card. So understanding what the 10 codes of your local law enforcement, what they're using for various things. 10-4 is obviously, acknowledge, things like that. But other things like 1093 is a blockade. Or, yeah, blockage or blockade. Let's see, a 1089 is a bomb threat. Stuff like that. Like 10 codes. Should have a smart card to 10 codes. And then on the back side, it's got the law enforcement alphabet, because that's different from your NATO or universal alphabet, Alpha, Charlie, Bravo, all those. It's different for law enforcement. They use a different one. A lot of them use a different one. Some use the NATO alphabet. Some use a name code alphabet. There's a couple other little acronyms. You see how this is all kind of blocked out and templated out. This was actually given to us as students in a criminal justice college degree program, but I've held on to it because it's extremely useful, and there's a lot of good things on there. Mediation tactics, mediation processes, time to act acronym, crisis intervention tips, debrief tips, basic contact model with, interacting with people, gathering information, incident response, just a bunch of acronyms and useful tips and stuff on the backside of a 10 code smart card. Everybody should have one of these. They are available online. You can download various PDFs of them and print them out, cut them up, and disseminate them to your group and your team and stuff. Whether that's private or a security team or whatever it is. This is actually extremely useful. And I keep it with your Write in the Rain notebook. As people say, if you don't have one of these, fuck you. No, you should seriously have a Write in the Rain notebook. You know, on the inside it's got measurements. You know, it's got more measurement gridding and stuff, much like a multi-tool does. You know, just all that. And then you can get the Write in the Rain specific like waterproof pens and stuff. I usually use a fine point Sharpie because it doesn't really run. It dries really quick. So you can use that no problem in a Write in the Rain. And these are cheap. You can get packs of these. So that's what I recommend to use to write in them if you don't have the more special pens to use for these. So that's something for that apart. And then I keep this just tucked right on the inside of the Write in the Rain notebook. It is a very useful little thing to have. I think that smart card is definitely something a lot of people should pick up or make for themselves based on how they want to block it out and things like that. In a template format, but a smart card like that, I actually need to laminate that one. I had a couple of them, but I need to laminate that one. So make sure you laminate things like that aren't laminated or aren't waterproofed. Yeah, and I've done a video on maps before. You know, if you're going to get a laminated map, awesome. Otherwise, other maps, make sure you laminate them so that they're waterproofed. Just some general stuff, you know. Just things to bring up again every once in a while to remind people or tell people, hey, 2 is 1, 1 is none kind of thing. You got one multi-tool, cool. Get another one. You know? And foot care. Take care of your dogs. You take care of your feet, they're going to take care of you, as I've said. So, and then some other stuff. Just common sense. But reminders are always good for people because sometimes you miss that stuff. Or you forget to put it back in your gear, or whatever it is. So, go do that. And drink water. Alright, that's all I got for this one. Just kind of going over a couple of things like that. So, yep, that's about it. Metal up. Out.